Hey everyone, hope you're having a good, what is it now? Wednesday afternoon, and that you're off to a good week. In the last presentation, I told you about my first experience with erectile dysfunction, how it happened, the thoughts and frustrations that went through my head, and basically how I felt. Now, because, well, actually, the end of the story is this. Sorry for backtracking. The end of the story is that I found a solution to my erectile dysfunction and my libido problems in the end. It took me more than 10 years of educating myself and experimenting with lifestyle changes such as eating healthier and stressing down. And because I found a solution to my problem, I am now on a mission to try to help as many men as possible worldwide also overcome their erectile dysfunction and libido problems. And I've created a course to help men overcome these problems. And if you're interested in learning more about this course, you can go to truemalehealth.com. It's truemalehealth.com. So here I was. I now realized I was struggling with erectile dysfunction. And I had a big problem. I wasn't able to have sex. I was sexually dead. And it was a pretty big shock at an age of 26. But it didn't make any sense to me because here I was. I was young, 26, and I lived a healthy life, or at least a seemingly healthy life. So I was thinking, this doesn't make any sense. I should be functioning sexually. I should. This doesn't make any sense that I deal with this. So I wanted to try to figure out why. I wanted to learn everything about the condition, erectile dysfunction and libido. I wanted to try to understand them in detail. And I thought, well, what if I could understand exactly how they work and what causes them? And if I understand the causes of these problems, then maybe I could find the problems, or maybe I can find the solutions to the problems. And then if I can implement the solutions, then maybe I can fix myself. So I started educating myself. I went online. I started searching for how to cure erectile dysfunction, how to improve libido. I read pretty much every article I could find. I watched a lot of videos. I spent hours and hours in online discussion forums, and well, there was a lot less information back then than there is today, but I still found a good amount of information, and I was hoping for a quick fix because this happened so soon, so quickly, and I thought, well, there ought to be a quick fix. So then when I had what I felt was enough knowledge, I then started experimenting. I tried some of this, some of that. I tried some herbal remedies. I tried exercising differently. I tried some meditation, but I wasn't systematic. I wasn't organized. I didn't keep a record of what I did. I didn't keep score, and I even forgot what I had tried. So I didn't really find anything that worked. I didn't really find a solution to my problems. Now, this went on for about 2 or 3 years, a period where I didn't function sexually, and I was trying to find a solution, but I didn't really find anything. But nonetheless, I had 3 very interesting discoveries. One was I went on a hiking trip for a week in the mountains of Southern Europe, and during the middle of the hiking trip, I started thinking a lot about sex, which was strange because we were in the middle of the mountains. I was with a group of about 20 people. And then when I started thinking about sex, I started getting these rock-hard erections, which was highly unusual. My second interesting discovery was a food epiphany. So for a long period of time, I ate really crappy food. And then I met a wonderful girl that I started dating who was vegetarian, and we started cooking together, and I basically changed my diet to become vegetarian. And all of a sudden, when I was with her, when I was making out with her, I started getting erections again. And this was also highly unusual, which led me to understand how important diet is for functioning sexually. My third interesting discovery was with supplements. I tried a lot of supplements, and I had almost no luck with any of them. But with 3 supplements, I had a little bit of positive feedback. With horny goatweed, with Tribulus terrestris, and L-arginine. All of these 3 supplements gave me a little extra kick. But none of them were enough to help me solve my problems. So then one day, after having gone through this for about 2 or 3 years, not finding a solution, getting really fed up with not being able to have a normal sex life, I thought to myself, should I try Viagra? Should I get this pharmaceutical drug and try it? I mean, I was in my 20s and I thought, this is kind of strange, but so I played with this thought in my head for a couple of days, and then I went online to websites. I bought generic Viagra from a sketchy website, and the drugs came from somewhere in Asia. By the way, I do not encourage that anyone do this. Please do not do this, because you do not know what these drugs contain. But nonetheless, that's what I did. I was young and dumb. The drugs came in the mail, and then one day, when my girlfriend at the time was coming over to my apartment, so before she was coming over, I took one of these pills. And then I remember, just as she sat down in the sofa next to me, I got this rock hard erection. I was like, wow, what is going on? It must be the drugs. And then we proceeded to having sex, and it was amazing sex. And I thought, wow, this drug is working like a charm. I can't believe it. Like I felt it was a lifesaver at the time. I was really grateful, because now I was able to function more or less normally sexually again. Now, anyone had a similar experience? Anyone tried to find a natural solution to their problems, not finding it, and then trying Viagra or any of the other drugs, Cialis, Levitra, or any of the other ones, and had a similar experience? If so, please feel free to add a comment. Now, there are 3 problems with the drugs. Actually, there are probably many more than 3 problems, but in general, there are 3 key problems with drugs. One is they only treat the symptoms. They don't do anything about the underlying problem. So let's say you want to have sex tonight. You can take a drug, and it will probably give you an erection. It will probably enable you to have sex. If you want to have sex again in a few days, you have to take the drug again. The pill that you took the first day didn't fix you, didn't cure you permanently of your condition. So you have to take the pill again. And then when you have sex again, you have to take the pill again and again and again and again and again for the rest of your life. So they don't treat the underlying problems. They only treat the symptoms. The second problem is that they're very imprecise, which means that they have side effects. So a drug to treat erectile dysfunction doesn't only affect the erectile functioning. It also affects a number of other systems in your body, and that causes you to have these side effects. So for me, when I took these drugs, specifically generic Viagra, I got headaches. I got a blurred vision. The way I saw the world got disturbed. I got a flushed face. It would go so red. Sometimes it would be like as if I was completely sunburned, and I often got a runny and stuffy nose. And the third reason why I'm not a big fan of drugs is that they're often not necessary. Oftentimes there is a much better solution. There is a natural solution. But nonetheless, here I was taking the drugs for about, I don't know, another 2 or 3 years, until I got to a point where they didn't work as well as before. So I was taking 12.5 milligrams of Viagra, and all of a sudden this started working less well. Instead of getting rock hard erections, I now got semi-hard erections. So then I increased the dose. I doubled it from 12.5 to 25, and now it worked for a little while, but then this started tapering off again. So then I had to double it again to 50. Now this worked, but then the effect of this started working less well. Then I went all the way up to 100 milligrams, and that worked for I don't know, a couple of weeks. And then this started tapering off as well. And at this point, I didn't dare to go any higher. I tried to take the 100 milligrams again, but then it just stopped working completely. My body had built tolerance to the drugs. So anyone had the same experience? Anyone has taken these drugs, Viagra, Levitra, Cialis, Kemagra, or whatever it may be, to the point where your body built tolerance to them and they didn't work? Okay, now there is more to the story. In the end, I was able to find a solution, a natural and permanent solution, and I will post more presentations so you will get the rest of the story. And also, if you are keen on yourself learning from my experiences to find a natural and permanent solution to erectile dysfunction and libido problems, you find that at True Male Health. True Male Health. Thank you all for listening, and hope you have a great day. And feel free, if you like this, feel free to like it, feel free to share it with whomever you want, and speak soon.